Good evening, everybody. Call this regular meeting to order for February the 3rd, 2026. Be it resolved, the agenda for the February 3rd, 2026 regular meeting of Council be adopted. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. All in favor, or any discussion, I should say. All in favor? It's carried. I believe the Deputy Mayor is going to be attending by Zoom or Teams here in the next little bit. He's just going to be attending late. And then we have CFO Gnida also attending by Teams. Be it resolved, the minutes for the January 20th, 2026 regular meeting of Council be approved. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion, any errors or omissions? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, moving down to 6, communications, 6.1. Be it resolved, the letter dated January the 20th, 2026 from Reeve Gade regarding the shared services and water agreement be received. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Ainslie Whyte. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Your Worship, is that something we'd want to move to in camera?
We're not actually going to be getting into this. This is just to receive the letter and the information. Okay. This is going to be something that we'll be discussing further as a COW because there's a lot of information from the meeting that the General Government Committee had with Swan Valley West in regards to this and a few other things. This is just to receive the letter, but we will be discussing this at a future COW meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Go
ahead.
What would the discussion be?
What's that?
We're just receiving the letter?
We're receiving the letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we discuss it next Tuesday.
It'll be at a future COW. What we have, because it's almost like legal stuff that has to be almost in camera for a discussion because of negotiations and all that. So that's has to be almost like in a in camera discussion. But there's far more items that we have to discuss rather than just water agreement and other shared services. This is a really long list of things that the town of Swan River has been at odds with Swan Valley West for some time now. And so if leading into it, I know most of us have seen our old agreements, but if you look into some of the old agreements just to get a handle on what we had in the past, I would probably recommend that you do that before you come to the COW meeting, just so you have a handle on it. Okay. Or ask me any questions about it.
Okay.
All right, on the resolution, any other further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 6.2. Be it resolved that the correspondence from the Chief Administrative Officer of the Rural Municipality of Mountain regarding the January 19, 2026 GAG4 meeting, including meeting minutes, a document from the Municipality of Swan Valley West regarding community support, opportunity, a presentation from the Swan Valley Medical Professional Recruitment and Retention Committee, and presentation on investing in economic development be received. Moved by Councillor Ainslie Whyte, seconded by Councillor Duane Whyte. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Just a compliment to the CEO at that end for, I think she did a pretty thorough job at trying to pull it into a concise report.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 6.3. Be it resolved that the minutes dated January the 19th, 2026 from a meeting with Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure and the Town of Swan River Mayor and Council regarding the PTH 10 and PTH 83 intersection be received. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion?
Have you received any response from that?
Not yet, no. That's still in there. I've had some conversation, but no decisions on that. We do speak with the minister next Tuesday, so maybe we'll have a little bit more from the minister on that, but we did have other previous things to discuss with the minister besides just this, but I'm sure it might pop up there. Any other further discussion? Go ahead.
I'm just wondering if it doesn't pop up there, because during our last meeting was really fast and brief, and it was like boom, 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 15 minutes up. We were 17 minutes and then scene.
Yeah.
So with that knowledge, I kind of wouldn't expect, because seems to be really clear that that is not the purpose of this meeting. Or this is not the purpose of that meeting. So my question is, if it doesn't pop up at the Tuesday meeting, when do we?
We wait until we hear back from MTI, because they have to make a decision on how they're going to do the project. So we'll be hearing from MTI. They don't discuss it at this meeting, because we did request this out of the questions that we had for MTI back when we were at the AMM, and our chance to have an audience with the minister then. It was deferred to this because she was not available. And so if this is not enough time for them to have a discussion at the intersection, then we will have that discussion hopefully soon. But we're at the mercy of them right now to decide what they're going to do. Any other further discussions on the resolution about the meeting minutes with the MTI?
Well, I realize that we met with the post-council meeting. We went through in detail what the town really wanted. I don't like to assume, but I'm hoping she heard our concerns from her staff, that we want this left-hand turn on not.
Okay, so Councillor Whyte, we're getting away from the resolution. That discussion that we'll have already with MTI, and we'll have an opportunity to speak with them when they're ready to present what they want to present to us specifically on the intersection. We're talking about the minutes that we had with the MTI right now. So any other further discussion on that?
No, at the moment.
None? Okay. All in favor? It's carried. 6.4. Be it resolved that the building permits 126 through 426 with a total estimated value of $914,436 be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Powell.
You know, I looked through this earlier and went, clinical analyzer in the hospital lab. So is that something that to be known about, or clinical analyzer? I couldn't quite get a grasp of what that was. Is that something, or is it just on there as this is a building permit for that?
They must be doing some upgrades that they needed a permit in order to do that in the hospital, I'm assuming.
Okay.
But we can always ask for administration to give us the details if there's anything else further on that. Councillor Ainslie Whyte,
If you wanted to speak to that, I can wait.
did you have something to say?
Well, I was just going to say it's exactly that. The hospital is doing some work, and because of the requirement for a permit, this is just letting council know that that's how much value is assessed for the building.
Go ahead.
Okay, and that was my question, which I think you just did answer, was that what is that dollar amount? That's the value of the work that's going to be
Yes,
done?
that's what their estimated value. So when they take out a building permit, they have to say what they're doing in that building permit for it to be approved, and they have to tell exactly what the value of that that permit is going to be worth,
Right.
or the construction, I guess.
And then how does this connect with somebody being responsible for said permit, like 5 wall signs? It's like, what is that?
Well, that's a wall, that's probably the name of the sign. Every business in town has to follow through, or any place that has an outside sign on their building has to have a permit. So this is kind of outside the conversation of the resolution, but if you do have questions on the building permit, you can talk to me or you can talk to the CEO. But this is basically what is required for anybody that's either building or doing renovations. They have to take out a building permit that would be approved by us to finalize it. And also if they have signs, they actually have to have a permit in order to have a sign as well.
And I guess that's what I'm asking is, what is the approval process? Who's responsible for, like, what does that mean to us? Was there somebody in the middle that
Yeah.
went and saw the work or
We have
and
a,
talked to them about the engineers and?
CEO, I'll let you respond to that, but that's with Mr. Lewicki, who is our building inspector.
Correct, the town has a contract with Ron Lewicki, who is our designated building inspector. He approves the permits, does the inspections. What happens is you get a permit, and then, for example, when I built my house, I had to get a permit to build a house. He comes after before I can have occupancy to do his job to make sure everything's done right.
That's what I was, thank you, perfect, thank you.
Okay,
That was gonna be my answer.
all right. Any further discussions on the building permits? All in favor? It's carried. Note that Deputy Mayor Moriaux has joined us by Teams. 7, reports. Be it resolved that the Chief Administrative Officer's report be received. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any discussion? Councillor Duane Whyte.
Just a question, in your report, you talk about discussions with the Santaquin community and the chief and council. I saw a bit of it somewhere. I didn't see any, I'm assuming it happened, but I didn't see any comments about arena discussion with the First Nation. Is that on your agenda, or did that get talked about, or is that for another matter?
I could answer that. In that discussion, we had a small discussion about the proposed arena, but that's still, you know, as everybody knows, it's still a long ways away in the process of the grant that we're bidding on right now.
I assumed you would do it. The other question, Your Worship, the BSC grant, looking for an extended timeline, because obviously it's been around for a while now. I don't know what the BSC stands for, but we applied for a bunch of money. Is that extended timeline been approved?
The BSC, that's the, I can't remember what that acronym stands for. You have that, Director, or is that?
It's building sustainable communities. So myself and Director Gordon-Broome met with the folks in the BSC grant. That was a grant initially for the retrofit for the arena. Council changed direction, so we were talking with them about extension or using the money for other recreational needs. So we've got assurance from those folks that there's no time limit expiry. They'll be checking with us in a few months. I understand the new arena is all grant dependent on the federal grant, so it was just to flag it for council to make sure we didn't lose it yet.
I appreciate we didn't, because we haven't done the job, but you were asking for an extended timeline. Where did that go?
Well, the original grant had already been extended. So what I'm saying is that they've assured us that there's no expiry date on it right now. So
Okay, thank you.
things right now, they're
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
and they're gonna check in a few months.
Thank you.
with us.
Okay, any further discussion? Councillor Ainslie Whyte?
When we talk about the planning district new development plan, is that a development plan for the town?
It'll include the town.
Okay.
I don't know if you have some specific question to do with that, and we can let any of the members that are on the planning district be able to answer those questions.
I guess it's just we have no updates on when the new development plan will be approved, but we're awaiting Deputy Mayor Moriaux's request to the chair, requesting a meeting.
So Deputy Mayor, do you want to comment on any of that? Because you are more in the fold with that than I am.
Yeah, so we're just waiting on the chair of the planning district to call a meeting where we can pass the I guess, first reading to the bylaw. Then there will be a public hearing on it, and then once we get feedback from that, then there'll be second and third readings. But the plan is basically done. We're just waiting for the chair now to call the meeting where we can do the resolutions plus regular business for it. But they're just going through some staffing admin struggles at this point. So his plate is full, so we're just waiting for him to call that and move forward.
Thank you.
My last comment was just that the fact that we're applying for these grants is excellent. Who leads that,
Typically, our administration will lead most of the grant applications.
CEO Tewnion
So
or?
the CAO with the directors, yeah.
Okay, that's excellent.
Any further discussion? Councillor Bobick.
Combination tax bylaw is submitted to the lieutenant governor. Just, is there any time frame on that, or do we just hurry up and wait?
Just wait till response. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 7.2. Be it resolved, the Director of Recreation's report be received. Moved by Councillor Ainslie Whyte, seconded by Councillor Duane Whyte. Discussion? Councillor Bobick.
Where are we with the hot tub?
We are working on a request for proposals, which should be coming your way soon.
So that's for the repair of it, or refurbish it?
That's for, what do you think we should do with this space?
Oh, okay. Okay. I get
Yeah.
you.
Here's the status, here's what's been recommended, tell us some ideas of
Okay,
how you feel we could get something to,
okay.
that's working.
No idea when that will come. Nutrition.
I believe it's been asked to be ready for the council meeting next week.
Oh.
Is that correct?
Okay.
Sure. That's right. I can't commit to that right now. I don't remember, but
Yeah,
I know
I
you
think-
committed to it.
I
Okay,
think
so
that's
it's
the
near
intention,
future.
is to have it ready for next week's council.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Councillor Ainslie Whyte.
For the quotes for the deep cleaning and everything,
Yep.
do we start with asking our local,
We've put
whoever
it,
would do
we've
it locally?
put it out locally. We've also put it out to larger scale companies because it is very, very, very involved. So we have done.
Okay, and when you say, like, did we call our local companies? Was it just, did we post it somewhere?
We
or-
just posted it to our social medias.
Okay,
We didn't, yeah.
so, okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Okay, 7.31. Be it resolved that the report dated January the 29th, 2026 from the Chief Administrative Officer regarding boiler repairs be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 732, be it resolved that the memo dated February the 2nd, 2026 from the Chief Administrative Officer regarding taxi cabs in Swan be received. Moved by Councillor Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? Councillor Powell.
I guess, you know, I see that the RCMP have reviewed the Swan River taxi companies. I believe, I just wonder, how can we promote that those are the two, not that we should promote, but if there's two that are approved, I know there's still others that are, you know, what is the public to do? Should they take a taxi with somebody who's not approved? How is it in the taxi that they have to carry a license or something like that, or is there something along that line?
I guess CEO Tewnion, that's the question that she's asking about provincial. I think she's talking more like provincial regulations and all that, similar to what the city of Winnipeg may have and what the municipalities outside the city fall under.
So, yeah, it's all provincial laws, of course, criminal laws if they're driving contrary to the criminal code. There are larger municipalities, I believe there's 4 of them in the province, and I indicated in my report,
Yeah.
have bylaws those are for thousands of people and multiple cab companies. What I'm trying to explain in this report, I was asked to look into a possibility of a bylaw. What I'm trying to explain is that the police are doing their job, making sure these folks are following the rules. So your specific question, how does somebody know? I guess they could choose to use the service. If they don't feel that they're following the law, they can report it to the police or don't use the service. So I don't know if that's answers your question.
Well, I guess the only thing, I guess the public, it would be up to the public to report should they have a taxi that's, they don't feel is a safe vehicle and so on and so forth, so that would be up to the public. Okay, that's all.
I guess the answer to that is like the town of Swan River doesn't really have any oversight as far as bylaw and all that. It falls within the RCMP. Go ahead.
Does Uber fall in any place?
I don't know where Uber falls with that. I think that's something different again, but I don't know how that's policed. I would imagine because it's a service that must be within the RCMP as well. Would that not be?
Uber would have the same restrictions as taxi cabs. You have to have the proper licensing and registration.
All right, thank you. Councillor Ainslie Whyte.
So just to be clear, if there's a taxi driving around town that has anything falling off it or in questionable repair, our direction is to let the RCMP know. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion?
Now we're done.
Councillor Whyte? Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 733, be it resolved that the report dated January the 29th, 2026 from the Chief Administrative Officer regarding changes to put forward in the Maintain and Regulate Unsightly Property Bylaw 2020-25 be received. Moved by Councillor Mackenzie, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion? All in favor? And any opposed? It's carried. You're asking a question?
Well, I'm just not sure what we're doing right now. Is this considered, are we just, is this first reading?
No.
Okay. What are we?
So go ahead. I'll
What are
let
we all in
the
favor
CEO
in
explain that. I'll just remind, whenever we call the question, try to make sure that you ask the questions before I call the question, but go ahead, CEO Tewnion.
So this is my summary for council to explain the changes in the bylaw. Later on down, you vote on the first reading of the bylaw. That's when you have debate or whatever you want to have about it.
Got it.
This is me informing you the work that I did behind the scenes.
Okay.
Right, it's kind of like a step ahead of the rest.
Got it.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 734. Be it resolved that the residential recycling 2025 cost summary be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Ainslie Whyte. Any discussion? I believe that one of Councillor Bobick had asked for this. So
Yes.
go ahead.
Thank you for this. So I guess in reading this, I'm looking at it's $865.53 per ton is what it costs the town of Swan River when everything RARs and MMSM funding comes through. Per ton. Yes.
That's what I see.
Okay, and I guess one of the reasons I'm asking this is we'll figure out what a ton costs us in a landfill. Not so much that it's not a good idea to recycle, but it just gives us an idea to talk to the provincial government that, look, if we can put it in a landfill for $100 a ton, it's costing us $850, you better up the ante, is I guess what I'm getting at.
I know they're working on something,
Okay,
but yeah,
thank you.
well, that's a good point. Save that with your ministerial meetings.
Yeah.
Don't forget that one. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Council reports. Councillor Bobick.
Thank you, Mayor Jacobson. Done some work with the airport, just bunch of phone calls and stuff, talked to 3 different facilities, airports. I guess one of the things that's come up, and this thanks to our CAO here, is the price of fuel at the Swan River Airport is a little bit lower than everybody else. I don't know if you want to hear the prices or not, but they're substantially lower than anybody else, so I'm sure they're landing here. They don't drive here for the fuel, but I mean, at the same time, it is something we need to take into consideration. So also, I'm going to be calling Airport Commission. I need to get a few more facts straightened out. I've looked into different routes of card locks. We have a contract, well, I wouldn't say contract, we have a bid, I would call it, from an outfit out of Alberta. Been 3 years, they're not showing up, so we need to make a move somewhere, so that will be brought up at the Airport Commission meeting. Also, there will be some conversations on the snow removal out there. Just some things that came to your attention is large amounts of snow this year. There's been not excessive use, but a lot of the town's equipment is out there doing a great job keeping it clean, but it also takes away from our streets, so we have to take that into consideration. There is some ideas on different ways of doing things. Other things on the go, I have a watershed project meeting next week, so we look at all our projects that have been put to us this year, and we'll pick out the projects. The board will pick out which ones we're going to go for, and that will be put forward. Also, since Director Harvey isn't here tonight, there was conversations of looking at a new tandem truck for the town of Swan River. And in one of the conversations, the idea was to put a plow on it. That could be used out at the airport, that kind of 2 birds with 1 stone thing. In the conversation, when you do that, so if we did that and decided the plow was too expensive, we can just go with the truck and not the plow. But what happens there when you specify putting a plow on a truck, your front end gets heavier, your tires get heavier, so you really don't need that if you don't put the plow on. So I would suggest that we just, I talked to Mr. Harvey about this, we just leave the plow out of the scenario for the tender, for the request for proposal for the town. With that, there is some other ideas on some equipment that could be utilized out there, which will be brought forward to the airport commission. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor
I have
McKenzie?
nothing.
Nothing tonight? Councillor Ainslie Whyte?
I don't have anything to report as far as the committees. Director Harvey is away, and Communities with Care is setting their meeting. Protective Services, I'm going to be speaking after this meeting with Councillor Whyte and Deputy Mayor Moriaux to discuss, I guess, when that next meeting will be. And other than that, I heard good things that Councillor Duane Whyte was at the ski, the grand opening of the magic carpet there. I thought that was great that you were there representing council. I thought that was great. I heard good things that you were there, so. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Councillor Whyte, Duane Whyte.
Quite busy. On the 22nd, our medical service team met, and obviously recruit and retain are a huge issue still. We're having some difficulty agreeing, trying to do the best thing for the taxpayers relative to a return of service. We pay people who are here already, not, and I suspect that we'll be considering paying people who are on their way here, and how much is certainly a debate. And we're going to expand our horizons a little. One of our goals is to go to Regina, the PAW, other places where they have nurse graduations. We go to the doctor graduations, and they're very short of nurses, so why would we consider going up to the PAW or Regina? And many of our young people go to Regina to that nursing school, so that's a big plan. The same afternoon, we met with PNH, with Councillor, with CAO Trina Slate. She told us the state of the hospital was, there's no concern at the moment in time, at this moment in time. They've accessed some agency nurses to fill the holes. That certainly creates some problems also, but We're hoping they have a week or two, it's not a very long period until the government decides what to do with the agency nurses, so that's a bit in limbo. And we talked about some ideas about how to recruit doctors to share with Prairie Mountain Health, and our committee is pretty excited about it. We have a new doctor in there right now, it's through his locum in February. I know Keith Bierman is going to pick him up and take him out for lunch. He was going to take him to the Billy Beale, but Billy Beale he's gone before that. On January the 24th, I had the pleasure of attending the grand opening of the Culture Center at the school. It's a majority of councillors there, by the way. The pipe ceremonies and the presentation, and what a wonderful addition to our community. It certainly is going to bring a lot more people to our community, allow us to host more activities in our community. It will bring more economic development to the community, and the governments of the day and the governments of the past certainly had a lot to do with making that happen, and I appreciate that. The Swan Valley School Division had a great deal to have it making it happen too, and we'll leave it at that. We appreciate that which they do. On January the 26th, because this doctor recruiting nurse stuff is bothering us a lot, we had another medical service meeting, and PMH has given us a couple of requests. One of them is to produce a video of all the wonderful medical things we have in the valley. One is 6 months already, we'll try to access again, and perhaps subsidize the training of a nurse practitioner, which we're a little uncomfortable with at the moment. January the 29th, I went to the LP Spruce Products Open House, and that's where they show all their potential cut blocks, where they're going, how they're going, good, the bad, and the ugly. It's unfortunate more people don't come, because I think it's imperative on all of us as people who live in the valley to know what the company's doing, the companies are doing. They're environmentally conscious, they do a wonderful job. Are they perfect? No, who is, but they are doing a really good job for our valley, and I encourage the public to go to those meetings and see what's happening. We have at least 10 staff there, they've got all the maps, all the areas, everything that's happening. And then, can't read no rain. Oh yeah, on the 31st, I went to the Thunder Hill ski area for their grand opening. I wasn't going to speak, but when all the other guys were speaking, I thought maybe I could bring greetings from the town too, and the convener said that was perfectly appropriate, because I asked. And I just brought greetings on behalf of the council and the town, and thank them for the wonderful work that they do. So that's it, thank you.
Okay, thank
Can I
you.
ask him a question?
One.
There is a precedent for foundation funding nurse practitioner. Debbie Schultz is funded by she's a nurse practitioner.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Powell.
Okay, just a couple things. We had a general meeting with the Northwest Regional Library Board last couple of weeks. Things are really going well there. Things are really organized, and I think that they've been really busy, and they're really busy in promoting things. I think if you're on Facebook with the Northwest Regional Library, you'll notice that they've got something going on every weekend for kids. It's been kids and adults, actually. They've done some really good things where they're utilizing the evenings that they're open for evening events, so that's been really great to see. Other than that, I have a meeting this week I'm looking forward to with my new committee, Swan Valley Housing Champion Group, planning meeting, and just looking forward to bringing back the council information in regards to what that's about. That's it.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Deputy Mayor Moriaux.
Couple meetings or events, along with the General Government Finance Committee, met with Chief Janai and his council, along with CEO Tewnion, where a number of topics were discussed that I'm sure his worship will be able to enlighten us a little bit more, so I'll leave it for him. I attended the grand opening of the Cultural Arts Center at the SVRSS. It was a good event. And while I was there, I took the opportunity to have a sidebar chat with Minister Simard regarding ability for regional organizations or committees to apply for grants from the provincial government, for example, like the Swan Valley Fire Board or the Swan Valley Airport Commission, that are boards that are made up of municipal representatives, but unless a municipality gives up their slot apply for grants, there's no opportunity for those individuals on their own to apply for grants. So trying to put that seed out there for them to create an intake for those types of organizations where they can go alone versus having to have a municipality give up something else on there. So he assured me there's work on that, and stay tuned. As Councillor Duane Whyte reported, I attended 2 different medical recruitment and retention meetings. Lots of discussions. That's still not done on that regarding return of services and what there, but I think we're getting narrowed down on the track. We're going to do some data research with past return of service participants, if it actually made a difference in them actually coming to the valley, or it kept them here versus when they were here. So we're going to get some data on that from the existing participants before we move forward. And then various meetings with the fire chief of the Swan Valley Fire Department regarding operational stuff, moving things forward now that the board has passed the budget, and it'll be on for discussion later on tonight. So, and that's all I got.
All right, thank you. Just to follow up on that, the Sapatoya Cree Nation meeting that we had that with, of course, Councillor McKenzie and Deputy Mayor Moriaux with the General Government Committee. We met with Councillor Campu and also Councillor Cook and Leask and also Chief Janai. Items of discussion, obviously, we're talking about the new hotel that they're proceeding with building and looking at construction to maybe complete maybe in 2027. Hopefully that is what they're hoping. We did talk about some items that might be of concern with if it's fire, whatever, but everything seems to be checked off. We had a lot of discussion about the accommodation tax, and so that is an item that we still will continue to discuss with Sapatoya. Chief Janai did bring up some comments about more infrastructure items and projects that we'll hear more about. I'm thinking in the next little bit, or maybe in the next year or so. He certainly has a lot going on as far as what he wants to see and his vision of how he wants to continue on investing in the community. He also wanted me to set up a meeting to meet with Minister Reeve to have a joint discussion with the minister. So that's something that we'll be working on here in the next little bit. I also had a meeting, our first meeting for a little while, Swan Valley Health Facilities Foundation. We're working on some changes there as far as Secretary Treasurer and all that. Because of the changeover happened very quickly from Prairie Mountain Health, that the board has installed an interim treasurer, while we'll put out for RFP for a permanent treasurer and secretary that will come down in the next little bit. So the board just dealt with a whole bunch of things that they were outstanding, but we're in good shape, and our financials are being taken care of by a very good, outstanding person in the community that will help, and as well as taking care of our condo that we rent out and a house that we have a person that's also taking care of that. So we're in good hands as far as the Swan Valley Health Facilities Foundation. Vet Board is kind of going through the same thing, but we're going to be meeting hopefully in the next week to have the new treasurer and secretary hired for that position, because the board has not met yet. The rest of my discussion will be in my privilege, yes. So that will be it for me. All right. 8.1. Whereas the province of Manitoba's Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, FIPA, Access and Privacy Regulations Section 2.1 requires a public body to appoint an access and privacy coordinator. Be it resolved that the Chief Administrative Officer be appointed to the Town of Swan River FIPA Access and Privacy Coordinator. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Duane Whyte. Any discussion?
Just wondering when we
Councillor
decide on
Ainslie
this.
Whyte? Pardon?
When is this decided?
What do you mean?
Be it resolved that the CAO be appointed as, is that what's being decided right now?
That's
or?
what's being decided. So if this resolution is passed, then the CEO will become the the FIPA coordinator.
Okay, so I have concerns with not our current CAO Tewnion by any means. This has nothing to do with a personal anything. But I have a feeling that when we seem to be having, it seems like administration or just one individual is starting to collect all the chips from just an outside perspective. And I'm still learning and new to the group, but it feels like a lot of things end with the CAO, and that is just it. And so when we start talking about freedom of information and things like that, I feel that may not be best suited with the individual that is the keeper, the receiver, the processor, and the delver-outer of all the information. I feel like somebody else may be in a better position to be that appointed access and privacy coordinator, is my feeling.
Most municipalities have the CAO as that coordinator, but council will make that decision at the end. CAO Tewnion.
I just wanted to confirm the buck doesn't stop with me, Councillor Whyte. There's an ombudsman. If somebody doesn't agree with my decision, it's an appeal to the ombudsman, independent body altogether.
All due respect, that's a huge process, and most times, if there is something that isn't agreed upon, somebody's not going to want to go through the ombudsman to argue it. It's like, it just seems like, that's saying either, you know, if you don't agree with me, you can take this rabbit hole for like a huge amount of your time to disagree with it. It just doesn't feel, I don't know, just doesn't feel transparent anyway. It's my feeling.
Well, I think it's fully transparent, so I would disagree with that. Our previous CAOs that we had privately before our current CAO have always had this role here. So, any further discussion? Councillor Bowles.
Is this something new? Is this because we have a new CAO, or is it just every year?
No, we have not appointed one yet, so we have to, I think we have to appoint.
There has to be an appointment. Previously, it was a named individual, so that's why we have to do it today. If it was previously to the CAO, then I would inherit that. So the suggestion is to make it the CAO, so it's whoever's occupying this position as opposed to going through the same time.
Councillor Powell.
Because previously it was Derek Poole, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Did you have something else? Councillor Ainslie Whyte?
I just feel strongly that when it comes to something of this nature, I don't think the CAO is necessarily the correct role to be the holder of that key is all. I feel like, yes, there are other municipalities that have had the CAO in charge, and they've been in charge of many things that have then broken down, or suddenly there's this deceit and craziness happening. And if we just delve things out a little bit more, that helps to avoid any question and just removes, I don't know, that's my opinion.
Councillor Powell.
I guess I don't understand. So I ask, who are you thinking that would be someone that would be responsible? Only because
The councillors don't get into debate with each other, so just ask the question.
yeah.
You're asking.
So just I just ask who you think that would fit this role.
I don't have a solution for that. I would want to hear from everybody's opinion on whom would be another administrative party that would make sense in that nature.
So-
Maybe it's even the assistant. In this case, I can't remember Mr. Uriah's last name.
So the resolution reads as appointing the CEO as the coordinator. If anybody has, wants to make an amendment to the resolution, then that can be done. If not, then we'll continue on with the debate or questions on the resolution. If not, then we'll vote on the resolution. So any further discussion on the resolution? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 8.2. Be it resolved that the February 17th, 2026 regular meeting of council be rescheduled to take place on February the 18th, 2026 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? Councillor Duane Whyte.
The February the 18th is the Swan Valley School Division's open house, and they've been wonderful partners with us. We work on many parallel issues to make our community better. It'd be kind of nice if council could attend. They've been very good at attending our G4 meetings, and that's their meeting that night. So the one option is only some of us go, I certainly would, but I don't want to miss the regular meeting either. So the other option is to just change that date.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. What's that? Yeah, you can go, of course.
But I would ask permission to
Yeah,
miss the meeting.
yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, I'm doing that now.
Yeah, thanks for doing that.
Must be lunch there, is it?
8.3, be it resolved that the Swan Valley Fire Board 2026 budget be received. Moved by Deputy Mayor Moriaux, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any discussion? Anything that you want to report on that budget, Deputy Mayor Moriaux?
I guess, yeah, so I can just give a quick highlights. Not a whole lot has changed from the 2025 budget. Basically, the most significant change is the amount to the insurances. Since we became a separate entity, the insurances and the liability insurance has been in a state of flux with Western Financial increasing from year to year. So that's been a significant increase in there to try and get ahead of it instead of being in a surprise deficit position at the when the invoice comes in. Other than that, the only other thing that's worth mentioning is that there's been slight increases here to there for cost of living or just inflationary increases with that. And then as for the municipal portion, there was a slight adjustment, I guess, in the assessment that went towards Swan Valley West this year. As for last year, it came back towards the town of Swan River. So it's still within the same realm of percentages of the portion assessments we do. So this year, there was a slight increase towards this municipality of Swan Valley West as compared to last year where it was to the town of Swan River. So we're back down to the almost 45-55 split. So.
All right, any other further discussion? All in favor? Oh, sorry, Councillor Bobick.
I just wondered if you could put it in perspective, if, when you say a small increase, is that 1%, 2%, or 3%, or roughly?
Well, on the, let's just go in here. Yeah, it's probably about a 3 or 4%.
Okay,
So just look at that. So,
okay, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 8.4. Be it resolved, the Swan Valley Fire Board 2026 levy of $238,133.19 be approved for payment once the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2025 are received. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Okay, 9. Oh, sorry, I missed this one. 8.5. Be it resolved that the policy 1/2026, being the policy of the town of Swan River, to set guidelines, rules for council members, personal social media pages be approved. Moved by Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any discussion? Councillor Ainslie Whyte.
So when is it that this is actually going, when is it that we're deciding on this?
Now, so if this is approved, then this will become a policy of the town of Swan River.
Okay, so everybody read through this already and,
I would hope so.
okay, well, I'm just asking because it's just, I'm asking because I want to make sure that we're not just approving things willy-nilly, that's all. I'm just trying to be a little more vocal.
Okay, no, that's fair, but I would hope that everybody's reading their packages before they come to the meeting.
I didn't understand that when things were presented like this, that then they were approved.
Once the resolution is passed, it's approved, or it's defeated, one or the other.
So when does the readings come in? I thought
That's
things,
only with bylaws,
okay, and because this is only a policy,
Right.
it can just be dealt with
passed by
in
resolution.
one reading.
That's right. Well, not a reading, it's just a
Or one-
resolution.
Okay. Okay.
Any further discussion? Go ahead.
I guess my only question is, if you're saying that there's a question to this, I'd have to question what you think it is. Like, if you have a question, or if you feel that there's something with the social media policy.
Okay, so again, that's debating, but if you're specifically asking the chair to ask the councillor, what is it specifically that you do not like in the policy, then mention what that might be. Is that what you're asking?
That's what
Okay.
I'm asking.
I guess just some of the definitions, such as what is a press release? What would be considered a press release? Is that posting information on social media as compared to giving a presentation on behalf of the town, or speaking on behalf of the town somewhere, or,
Press releases, we can do those in different ways. We can do them as on social media, we can do them within the media, if it's paper media, or if it's visual media, whatever that's called. There's different forms of press releases.
I guess I just don't understand what constitutes a press release? Like, what makes it a press release? Is it speaking to the newspaper or the press that makes it a press release?
Speaking to? What do you mean by that?
Well, okay, what makes the releasing of information a press release?
Well, in my mind, releasing information of what maybe the town or administration has some milestone or something that we've passed, or maybe we received. As an example, we received $250,000 from Minister Smart and the province on the upgrades to the Legion Park. That is a press release. If there's other information that we may have changed, we may do a press release. If there's something significant, maybe there's a heavy snowfall, we need to do something to alert the public, we would do that in the form of a press release.
Okay.
And there's several definitions or examples of what that might, not definitions, but examples of what that may look like, but those are just a few that I can say off the top of my head.
Okay. In my experience, it just feels like if there's a policy that's going to be equally enforced, then there needs to be no question as to different things. And it just feels like this came about after I posted on Facebook that we had spoken with Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure. And I purely did that to let the town members know what had come about of information. And I made sure to only include true and out-of-camera information purposefully, and I made sure to use the words "we," and it was a united thing, and I in no way intended that to be considered a press release, nor did I view it that way. I was merely trying to report back to who I work for because everybody was wondering about the roundabout thing, and we had some conversation, and I was looking forward to sharing that information, because I feel like that's something that we could do more often, is rather than just depending on the ratepayers to come to a meeting to learn things, we could do a lot more like, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. And so that was my intention. And so that's why I guess I was asking what constitutes a press release, because I didn't talk to the news or anybody.
So we're getting away from the resolution, but it's common for municipalities to have one person that speaks for council.
Absolutely.
As an example, I will use an example, Mayor Knox and Borgia Prairie. She'll have councillors that maybe attend an event, such as Councillor Whyte did the other day, and they would bring back information and say, okay, you can post this, or can put this out in the community. And Mayor Knox then provides that and posts and says, look at what councillor whatever did today, good on them, or whatever. It just has that, it's just a process to follow, and it's consistent. And I don't think there's really any problem with that. I don't think it's trying to shut anybody out. It's just trying to make sure that we're consistent with our message, because not often we might see things always exactly the same, but we want to make sure that we're on the same page, because we want to make sure that when somebody comes and asks Councillor McKenzie a question about something and says, hey, then I say something different, he says something, that it's not consistent. So we need to have some consistency, and that's what we want to have.
I agree. But I don't understand what 3.2A EMO plan, what's an EMO plan?
Emergency measures. So that's something that we would someday maybe unfortunately have to deal with. And that could be something very similar to when we had the water crisis that we had a number of years ago, when we didn't have any water in the community and we had to go into emergency mode. We have had times when the river was flooding and potentially could flood people's homes, that we had to go into emergency mode. So those are all kind of things that are included with emergency measures.
I'm enjoying the questions, because sometimes I forget what some of those things are too. And you're handling it very well, Your Worship.
Well, thank you. Is there any further discussion on that?
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see your hand. Okay, go
No
ahead.
problem. I guess this question is to CEO Tewnion, because he's probably the partial author of this, but bullet point or section 4 that's highlighted, can you provide clarity as to what is meant by that? Because it seems contradictory to some of the other statements.
Yeah, what I'm trying to convey is to alleviate Councillor Whyte's concerns. We do have freedom of expression, we can express things. This is to clarify that if it's a message on behalf of council, it has to be a united message that everybody agrees on.
Yeah, no, I understand that, especially like from a singular release point, instead of 7 or 8 different points being released. I agree that there's one singular outlet where that's released from. So, thank you.
Download. Meeting agenda.
Okay.
Font sizing.
Councillor McKenzie, you got
Option.
some downloading problems there?
No problem.
Any further discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 9.1. Be it resolved that Swan Valley Regional Initiative for a Strong Economy minutes from the meeting held May the 22nd, 2025 be received, including the resolution that instead of an audit, the municipal partners will be presented with a financial information package similar to the 2023 fiscal year, and the resolution to approve the 2025 budget totaling $50,000. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any discussion? Councillor Bobick.
Is it not our policy that we require a financial audit?
It is, but we have had in the past, because RISE has not had a substantial amount of money that was spent, and because of that, you're going to go and have an audit done on a very low financial transactions that you're going to spend $5,000 or $6,000 on an audit. So this is why RISE was saying, hey, can we skip the audit and perhaps, you know, continue on, but in the future, it doesn't say Rise will never have to give
Okay.
an audited financial, it's just each year, it's saying, okay, you know what, it's fine, but let's not make this a habit.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 9.2. Be it resolved that the 2025 Swan Valley Regional Initiative for a Strong Economy contribution in the amount of $17,560.35 be approved for payment. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Discussion? Go ahead.
So the understanding I'm having on this is a payment for last year's meetings.
That's correct.
Of
Last year's contribution.
budget. So there's nothing for 2026.
We haven't got that
So if
far
we were
yet.
thinking of moving in a different direction, it's not involved.
This is just to do with the 2025 contribution.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, 10.1. Be it resolved that the following accounts be received. Payroll accounts checks number P5610 to P5612 and direct deposit payments totaling $125,170.57 is listed on Schedule A. Direct deposit payments totaling $42,218 and 25 cents as listed on Schedule B. Moved by Councillor Ainslie Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 10.2. Be it resolved that the following accounts be approved for payment. General accounts checks number 33557 to number 33587 totaling $76,870.08 as listed on Schedule A. Direct deposit payments totaling $2,762.64 as listed on Schedule B. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. Any discussion? Councillor Duane White.
33567, Cook and Cook Trust, 31,491.
CFO Gnida.
It's for the auto pack, MPI auto pack renewal for all the town fleet of vehicles.
Okay, any further discussion? Go ahead.
I was just gonna remind council that we do have an explanation list attached to there.
I'm there.
Okay.
It still didn't make sense to me. I don't remember who you're dealing with.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 11.1. Be it resolved that bylaw number 20, 2025, being a bylaw of the town of Swan River to maintain property and regulate nuisances, derelict, abandoned, and unsightly property be read a first time. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion? Councillor Bobick.
Is there changes, or why is this here?
Go ahead.
I did have my report received earlier up to give all the details of the changes. There are changes specifically. We more focus on the snow removal policy as opposed to the previous one that just mentioned it once. There's a section added on drainage, some clarity around vehicles stored on property. Some of those changes.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Councillor Ainslie Whyte.
I just wonder about why the complaints was changed from the previous bylaw to not, to accepting in-person or phone complaints rather than in writing. I just don't agree with that. I think, I know it's, as I recall, it's been said, well, some people can't provide their complaint in writing. But then I would propose that whoever the official is receiving the complaint, I think in our case, the only one that can receive formal complaints is our bylaw officer or CAO. Then it would be their diligence to then document said complaint at the time it was received and who made the call, and still make sure that that was documented. I don't think that we should be accepting, and that's to protect the complainer, the person that is having the complaint put against them, and also the CAO or the receiver, because then there's no question of who did what, or, well, it wasn't, wasn't really them. I mean, often a ratepayer's going, well, who had the complaint? Well, we can't tell you. Well, no, you can't tell me. But then as soon as we start receiving complaints over the phone, or, like, it just, I don't know, it's like, I have a problem not documenting it. I definitely have a few other comments, but I haven't made my way fully through, so I don't want to vote on this today.
Well, we'll have an opportunity to vote. You don't have to vote on it.
Okay.
But this is what we talked about with the third readings that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
This is a bylaw. So this is just bringing it to the table. This is now an opportunity during our COM meetings to bring stuff and say, hey, can we add this to the bylaw? Can we do this to the bylaw? And we can make changes to the bylaw as we go and as we go to get to third reading to make it final. Go ahead.
If I could, Your Worship, just to provide some clarity, when we talk about a complaint received in writing, I can assure you if I received a complaint from somebody on the phone, I would make detailed notes of what they said, who they were, everything. So this isn't to say that there's no documentation of who made the complaint. It's just making it easier for people to make a complaint because they don't have to sit down and write out a form if I want to take it by a phone call.
Okay, so maybe it's just an addition that we need to make, or an amendment to say that it will be documented then. But like I say, I haven't been fully through, so thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, now we'll do members' privilege. Now, some of you used your members' privilege in your first part, but now I don't know what you're going to talk about. But anyways, Deputy Mayor Moriaux, I'll let you go first.
Keep it short, nothing from me, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Ainslie Whyte.
I guess I just want to express that I would really like to kind of report back to the town more than we do. And I feel like, I'm not sure what that would look like, or I just feel I'm a little frustrated with the whole process and everything. I know I'm new to it, but it's been quite frustrating, and it's hard not to feel like sometimes, or a lot of the time, the moving parts are moving, but not for the betterment of the town or the ratepayers necessarily. It feels like there's other things woven in, and not that that doesn't happen throughout our life, but I feel like when we're writing bylaws or we're writing policies, what's the driving factor? Often policies are from incidents or a situation, somebody's injured, we write a policy. Something is injured. So I feel like when we're doing this, I'm really doing my best to look at it objectively, and I feel like I may be being misinterpreted, like I have the agenda, which is interesting to me. But I'm trying to look at things objectively as to not have something written for Joe Smith because Joe Smith did something, and so now we have to write a policy, and I'm using Joe Smith as a complete example. I don't know that an individual. Pardon? And I would encourage all of council as we go forward. I only have maybe a few months left, and I would just really hope that all of the councils, and that is our other 3 points of our diamond that we are with in the valley, to let those little, whatever is woven in our purpose, go and shed that. Because if we're all working together as municipalities for a common goal, and including Sabatoyak and like everybody that's affected in the valley, I just, from an outsider and from a new perspective, like at noon, the day of the meeting, I start feeling anxiety. And I speak with corporate entities in my life often, and I have no problem with authority. I have no problem following rules. But I'm not loving these meetings, I'll be honest. And from an outsider's perspective, I would just really, and as a councillor for the town, I would encourage us all as we go forward to look at things objectively, and does this apply to the greater good of everyone involved? And I think if we continue to make decisions with that focus, you know, how do improvements with the pool, how can we include all of the municipalities so we make the best educated, best decision financially for everybody involved? I feel like we have that opportunity, not being Toronto, not being this huge. We have the opportunity to work with our smaller groups and actually like do some really awesome things. We have that ability. I mean, moving the city of Calgary, good luck. But we have that opportunity. That's all I have to say for my moment. Thank you for listening.
Okay, I'm gonna just comment if I can, if council let me. I think this council, I've been, not necessarily in this same group, but for almost 16 years I've been on council. And our councils have always been all-inclusive. They've always wanted to have and focus on things that would be benefit of the greater, all of the Swan Valley. And that doesn't always work, and that's been always a challenge. We talk about if it's going to be water treatment provided, if we're talking about lagoons, we're talking about arenas, we're talking about, we believe in that. We're working right now with the Legacy Group right now. I believe that's so open and transparent, it's not even funny. And I think that we do a really good job of that. You're coming into the Lions Den, not having, unfortunately, having that experience to know what has been talked about for the last 30 years or the last 15 years. You have to do the research. When I first ran in 2010, I used to come to council meetings before I was even elected. And I used to sit there and I used to listen to them. And of course, they let me leave when the mayor at that time told me that I couldn't say during the camera sessions, and that's when I learned what the camera was all about. But I took a lot of time because I wanted to learn the job, and I really wanted to understand about it. And I think that, I'm not saying that you don't do that, you might, but the thing is you have so much to learn, and it could be, it's very overwhelming, and you feel that frustration. I feel the frustration every day, not necessarily with having a meeting tonight, but just things that I'm thinking about, we need to get here. I'm tired of talking about snow removal and with where this pile of snow is and whatever. We, as a municipality, need to start moving ourselves up. And there's a lot of people that actually pull us down. And I'm tired of that. I think that we have an opportunity, like you said, but we need to move on. And we need to work together, yes, but not everybody wants to work with us either. And that's something that I'm hoping someday you'll see that. Councillor Whyte.
Well, Your Worship and Councillor Whyte, I love your optimism. I hope I have all of that. I'm a little more pragmatic than then. But if we don't have that optimism of the valley working together, we shouldn't be. And I believe we all do have that goal. And it's not as easy as I thought it would be too. The Your Worship over there has got 25, 30 years of this, and we share our frustrations, but I look around, I think that the Legacy Committee alluded to the whole valley working together. I see the cultural center built. I see the primary care clinic. I see the CT scan, the new animal shelter. All those wonderful things are, by and large, by the valley as a whole, some of the municipal leaders and some of the volunteers. Lots of good things. Move slow, move terribly slow. I think sometimes it goes backwards. I'm not a process guy, you may have noticed. So I get reminded to back up what's going on. I think we're on the right path, very slow. I appreciate your comments, and I encourage you to be calm and be patient.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Councillor Powell.
I guess if we're going down this road here, you know, for myself, you know, 4 years, I don't even know if I know everything, but for me, when I see things on our agenda, I look at them and go, okay, I got, because sometimes I don't even know what that policy was, and I have to go, okay, let me figure this out. But I think for some of these things that are coming up, I enjoy that we're bringing them forward, because it's I think sometimes we're cleaning things up to make things like a little bit clearer and understandable for everyone. But honestly, like 4 years, and I still can honestly say that I think that this probably, I'm finally feeling to a point where, okay, I kind of know, okay, when a policy is, and you know what I mean? But it takes a lot of time, and it's not something that like you can learn in like 2 months. So yeah, understandable that you're going, and we're saying, yeah, okay, yeah, but understand that it's something that does take time. You can't read all of our policies, you can't read all of our bylaws, you can't, you know what I mean? But I think we have to understand that the things that we are doing, we are in lots of ways, we are cleaning up things, and I appreciate that we're moving forward to do that, but it is time, and by no means am I there to know everything. I couldn't tell you every bylaw that if a person came up to me and asked me, I'd be honest and say, I gotta find out. That is, you can't know everything that fast, right? And nobody expects you to. I can understand the feeling of when everybody else is, oh, yeah, okay. And you're like, well, do I even put my hand up? So just understand that that's, you know, it takes time. That's it.
Okay, go ahead.
I was in municipal government for 30 years, and what I found over those 30 years is that you're never going to know everything. Your first responsibility is for the town of Swan River and the people that have elected you in the town of Swan River. And then you have to work as a fella. Sometimes you're going to ruffle some feathers with what you have to do. You're not always going to get what you want. But through the years, what I was blessed with, a group of councillors that always got along. So if they didn't get their way on a particular vote or whatever, that's it, it's behind us, let's move on. What are we going to do next for the town of Swan River? That's our focus. And there are some lingering things from the past that are always going to affect the town of Swan River that we're going to have to deal with eventually. I think some of the other municipalities do have to realize that, before we started, it's improved with the G4. It was G7 at one time when it first started out, that at least we're getting together and talking. Before, we weren't even doing that. Every municipality was its separate little kingdom. But our first responsibility is the people that elected us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Bob.
Thank you, Mayor Jacobs. It's a pretty hard act to follow here, all these statements, but I just, an older mayor once told me that we were 6 strong people and we agree to disagree is the biggest thing with a council. Don't feel that if somebody disagrees with, it's not a big deal. That's the idea behind the whole thing. So on a lighter note, I spent the weekend at the arena watching high school hockey. Excellent hockey. If you got time, it's really good. So anyway, just to mention, Ride for a Reason's coming up a little bit yet, but this week we've helped out another family. There was a person that was life flight about a year. What little funds we had left, we tried to help them out. So again, this all goes to local stuff, hopefully. So wasn't in too good a health. So anyway, with that, to date, we've raised over $25,000. So hopefully this year we'll add to that. So there's some different ideas coming up, what we're going to do with the money, but it's always been local. And again, I go back to the fact that we might not be able to donate a whole bunch of money to people, but the thoughts of us giving money to somebody, it means we care as a balance. So it's really good. So Also was at the school opening, it was really beautiful facility, so hopefully it gets used. Just to add to that, I've asked CEO Tewnion to put the airport on the next G4 if they wish to have it on there, so just some conversations. I would like to get some more information before we get there.
Thank you. Director Broome.
Okay, well, I just.
Gordon-Broome, sorry, my apologies.
Oh, good. I just wanted to add actually to my report on something that I realized I failed to add. So we did talk about the update to the BSC grant, but we were also asked to update to the ACSC, that's the Arts, Cultures, and Sport and Community Grant. That's the $3 million plus one that has been received for new Arenaville. So that actually had an original, supposed to have a completion date of March of this year. So obviously that's not going to happen. So they did ask us, in addition to submitting our quarterly report, to update on budget and things like that, as well as we took the opportunity to then request that they consider an extension of that as, we're obviously not going to have a completion date of March. So that's all been submitted and we're just awaiting the results of that. So I just wanted to add that to that. And for Mayor Jacobson, because I know he always likes me to do the Stampeders update. We have won 6 of the last 7 games. They were in Dauphin tonight, and last I checked, they were up 1-0,
Nice.
coming to the end of the second. So
Thank
There
you for
you
doing that. Good job. Thank
2-0
you.
now.
is it 2-0 now?
2-0.
There we go. See.
CFO Gnida.
I have a relative who's in the hospital and who reports that the level of care is excellent from the doctors, nurses, aides, technicians, specialists, even housekeeping, maintenance, paramedics, the light flight to and from Winnipeg. Everyone is very kind and caring, and we should be very, very thankful that we have such high level of medical care in Swan River.
Thank you, and you're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
CAO Tewnion.
I have nothing, Your Worship.
All right, for me, where was I going here? So anyway, it was already mentioned about the school division and the cultural center being their grand opening a couple Saturdays ago. But I enjoyed the ceremony, the pipe ceremony in the morning. First thing that was really neat to be a part of, and the elders and the individuals that were there to kind of get this whole project off on the right foot. So it was a great event to attend. Awesome space for our community, used by Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, and it's going to be a great space for years to come. I think I heard my son sing. I think they were having a rock concert in there or whatever this past week. So I haven't heard much more. I should have asked, but I forgot to. During that time, I had an opportunity to sit down with the Premier and Minister Simard on several different things, and really quick because these people are wanting to be talked to by several people. And so I got a chance to just kind of put a plug in there saying that, we're still working on this arena and other projects, and the minister and the premier both said, working on these regional projects, no different than what the deputy said earlier, regional. And this is something that we've been hammering for a long time, but these are regional projects, and the government knows about that and wants us to be successful at that, because there's several places in the province that have got and understand that and do and are been very professional, being successful with landing several different projects. Speaking of the hospital, I thank the CFO for those comments. I have spoke several different times with the CEO, Trina Slate, and there are challenges, but you know what? We do have good care in our hospital, and we do have great people that work in our hospital. Do they have challenges there? Absolutely. Every business has a challenge. It doesn't matter. And you know what, they're taking care of people. We knew that with the bus accident here that we just had last month. And people were taken care of. So we have good people. They're just looking for more people. They need more to fill those vacancies and get more people in our long-term care and taking care of our people that when they need it the most. So I think that we're on the right track. We just keep pushing. And that's, you know, one thing I wanted to say about, you know, like we talk about inclusive and you know, when if we think the last 16 years, and not because of me, but our group and our focus, you know, and when we first went to AMM, we really weren't trying to push it down the door with a minister. And if we did get one, they would say, oh yeah, you're going to get that. We walk up and go, yeah, we won. And then we learn afterwards, no, we didn't get nothing. You know, so now we made those relationships with the Association of Municipalities, other municipalities, and also with the government, if it's whichever government of the day. And I think that we've done a really good job of displaying and working with, you know, if it's government or other municipalities that are around us and taking what we can learn from them and trying to make our municipality a good place. And I think we've done a good job of that. And then some of the things that were mentioned, and you know, sometimes we forget about that stuff, you know, and when we shouldn't forget about that was because we've had some major accomplishments in the last number of years. I think that was going to be all that I wanted to talk about. So anyway, we will move on from there. Thank you. And 14 brings us to camera. So be it resolved that pursuant to sections 152(3) of the Municipal Act, Council will go into committee and close the meeting to the public. Moved by Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. All in favor? It's carried. We're talking about shared services and also enforcement on some areas of Main Street. So we could take maybe a little break and then we'll. Okay, nothing is arising out of camera, so we'll go straight for adjournment. Be it resolved, this regular meeting council will now be adjourned at 9:16 p.m. Moved by Councillor Bobick, second by Councillor Duane Whyte. All in favor? It's carried. We're adjourned.